Hello students, this is Anjana from Computer Science Department. In this class, we are going to discuss about logic-based testing overview and the decision tables. Now let's get into our topic. So this is a logic-based testing. When it comes to the overview of the logic-based testing, this is the introduction for the logic-based testing here. So the functional requirements of the many programs that can be specified by the decision tables, which provide a useful basis for the program and the test design. So here the consistency and completeness can be analyzed by using the Boolean algebra. By using the Boolean algebra functions, we are going to find out the consistency and completeness of these functions. Whereas it can also be find out by using some test design. So here it is used for the basis of the test design. So here in the Boolean algebra, it is trivialized by using the Karnaugh-Weil charts here. So in this so here, if you have observed this particular kind of introduction, uh, the consistency and completeness are the two major things that we are going to keep, that we are going to concentrate here. Why? Because they are analyzed by using the Boolean algebraic functions, which can also be used for the basis of the test design. So in this Boolean algebra, it is trivialized by using the Karnaugh-Weil charts. Here, if you have observed this logic based testing, in this type of logic based testing, the Boolean here the basic Boolean algebraic functions that we are going to use is trivialized by using the Karnaugh-Weil charts. So the first thing is the logic. Logic is the one of the most often used words in the programmers vocabularies, but one of their least used techniques. Here the Boolean algebra is to logic as the arithmetic is to the mathematics. Without it, the tester or the programmer is the cut off from the many test and design techniques and the tools that incorporate those techniques. So this logic has been used for the it has been using for the several decades. So here from these several decades, the primary tool hardware designers also um, the primary tool of the hardware designers also be the logic design. So the many test methods developed for the hardware logic can be adapted to the software logic testing. Why? Because the hardware testing automation is 10 to 15 years ahead of the software testing automation. So the hardware testing methods and its associated theory is a fertile ground for the software testing methods. So, as the programming and the test techniques have improved, the bugs have shifted closer to the process front end to the requirements of the specifications. So, these bugs range from 8% to 30%. The total 8% to the 30% of the total, and because of they are in the first in and the last out, um, they are very costless at all. Why? Because at this price is these bucks ranges from 80% to 30%. It is going to be used by the uh, all the fertile ground software testing methods. So as the programming test techniques have improved, the bugs have shifted closer to the process to the front end to the requirements of the specifications, and these bugs will be ranges from 8% to the 30% of the total, and because of this first in and last out, they are very costless at all. So when it comes to the logic, it is most often used in the form of programmers. So here based upon the vocabularies also, but one of their least used techniques is the logic. Here the Boolean algebra is to logic as a arithmetic and to the mathematics. Without it, the tester or the programmer is cut off from the many test and design techniques. and the tools that incorporate those techniques. Here the logic has been used for the several decades. The primary tool of the hardware logic designers is to the many test methods have developed for the hardware logic and can be adapted to the software logic testing, because the hardware testing automation is to 10 to 15 years ahead of the software testing automation, such that here the hardware testing methods and it is associated theory is a fertile ground for the software testing methods. So as a programming and the test techniques, it have been improved. The bugs have shifted closer to the process from the front end to the requirements and the specifications. So these bugs are ranges from 8% to 30% of the total, and they are in the first and last out, and we can say it as a cost list. So if you have observed this one, basically how we are getting this trouble is, the trouble with specification is that they are hard to express. They are really very hard to express, such that the Boolean algebra is also known as a sequential calculus, such that it is the most basic of all the logic systems, and the higher order logic systems are needed and used for the formal specifications, such that much of all the logic analysis can be embedded in the form of tools, but these tools incorporate the methods to simplify and transform and check the specifications, and the methods are large extent based on the Boolean algebra. So if you have observed this one, when it is a knowledge based system, so in the type of knowledge based systems, we can say that knowledge based systems are also as the expert systems or the artificial intelligence system. It has become the programming construct of the choice for the many applications. Why? Because they were considered as a very difficult one. Here the knowledge based systems will incorporate the knowledge from a knowledge domain such as a medicine, law or civil engineering into the database, but the data can be queried and interacted with to provide the solutions to problems in that domain. So here all the logic based knowledge based systems are going to incorporate the knowledge from the knowledge domain such as medicine, law or civil engineering into the database. So the data can be queried and interacted with the provide solutions to problem in that domain. So one implementation of the knowledge based system is to incorporate the expert knowledge into the set of rules, such that the user can provide the data and ask the questions based on that data. So the user data is processed through the rule based to yield the conclusions and the request for more data. So the processing is done by a program and it is called as an interface engine. So by understanding the knowledge based systems and their validation problems, here it is going to require an understanding for the formal logic. So when it comes to the knowledge based system, we can say it as a we can also say that knowledge based system as an expert system or an artificial intelligence system, and has become the programming construct of the choice for the many applications that they were once considered as a very difficult one. And here the knowledge based systems are incorporated with the knowledge from a knowledge domain such as a medicine, law or the civil engineering into a database, such that the data can be queried and interacted with to provide the solutions to the problems in that domain. So once the implementation of the knowledge based system is to incorporate the expert knowledge into the set of rules, the user can then provide the data and ask the questions based upon the data. So the user's data is processed through the rule based to yield conclusions. So in on behalf the tentative or the define the request for more data, the processing is done by a program called the inference engine, such that it is going to understand the knowledge based systems and their validation problems. It requires an understanding of the formal logic. So when it comes to the decision tables, here the decision tables are extensively used in the business data processing. The decision tables are the preprocessors as the extensions to the COBOL are in the common use such that the Boolean algebra is embedded in the implementation of these processors. Although the programmer tools are very nice to have, the most of the benefits of the Boolean algebra can be reaped by wholly manual means. If you have the right conceptual tool, we can say that the Carnot Wave diagram is that the conceptual tool. So here whatever the decision that we are going to take is not a basic thing here. Based upon the decision tables or the extensively used in the business data processing, the decision tables, the preprocessors as the extensions of the COBOL language are in the common use. So the Boolean algebra is embedded in the implementation of this process. Although whatever the programmer tools that we have used and nice to have that programming tools, the most of the benefits of the Boolean algebra can be raped by wholly manual means if you have the right to the conceptual tool. So we can say it as a Carnot Wave diagram is that conceptual tool. So when it comes to this decision tables, this is this figure 6.1 shows the examples of the decision table. Here this figure is a limited entry decision table. It consists of only the four areas called the condition step. It is the condition step, and this is the action step. This is the action entry, and this is the condition entry. What are the four areas it is having here? First one is condition step, next one is action step, next one is condition entry, and next one is action entry. So if you have observed all these things in this figure 6.1, it is a limited entry decision table. We have already discussed that it is having the four areas such that here each column, see this is the column, each column of the table is a rule that specifies the conditions under which the actions named in the action step will take place. Here the actions named in the action steps will be going to take place. So the condition stub is the list of names of the conditions. So this is condition 1, condition 2, condition 3 and condition 4. We can say this one as a condition stub. This is action 1, action 2 and action 3. This is a action stub. This is the condition entry and this one is the action entry. So this is the rule 1, rule 2, rule 3 and rule 4. For this condition, if it is going to satisfy the rule, we can write like S. Here also the rule is satisfied, so we have written like S. Here for this condition the rule 3 is not satisfied, so it is written like no. If you are not willing to say yes or no, simply we can leave the simple like this. So if the condition 2 is satisfying the rule 1, then we can write the like S. If it is not satisfying rule 3, condition 2 is not satisfying the rule 3, so we can write it as the rule no. And here this is the condition 3. Here the rule 1 is not going to take that rule, so we wrote it as no. It is applying the rule 2, so we can write like S. In condition 3, rule 3 is not applying, so it wrote like no. Here we are not taking any rules for that, so we place it like that. Here in this condition also, if it is going to take the rule 1, rule 2, rule 3 and rule 4, in the condition 4 this is the rule 1, rule 2, rule 3 and rule 4, it is not applying the rule 1, so we wrote like no. Here in the condition 4 it is not applying the rule 2, so we wrote like S. In the condition 4 we are not applying the rule 3, so we wrote like no. And this is the condition 4 we are not applying for the rule 4, we wrote like S. So this is the action step, action 1, action 2 and action 3. So here in this action 1, this is the rule that we are going to take here. So at the action 1, it is in this action it is going to apply the rule, so we wrote like S. In this action we are going to apply the rule 2, so we wrote like S. In this action we wrote the rule 3, so we wrote like no. In this action we are not applying the rule 4, so we wrote like no here again. So again in this action 2 we are not applying these rules at and the rule 3 only we are applying. In this action 3 at rule 4 we are applying, at the remaining places we are not applying there. So this is a more general decision table. So if we have taken this as example, this is a more general decision table that can be shown below. These are the conditions that we are going to take, and these are the actions that we are going to perform. This is another examples of the decision table. So if the printer does not print, then if it is for the rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4, and we are writing like Y, and otherwise if it is not printing we are writing like no. And here this is the condition, the red light is flashing, and another condition here we are having is the printer is unrecognized, and another action here you are having is check the power cable. Here another one more action, check the printer computer cable, and another one more action, ensure the printer software that is going to install. Here the another action is check or replace the ink. Here another one more action is check for the paper and pen. So these are the examples of the decision table that it is going to perform here. But the rule that is going to specified here is uh, the rule that specified whether a condition should or should not be met for the rule to be satisfied. If it is means that the condition must be met to no, means that the condition must be met, and I means that the condition plays no part in the rule or it is immaterial to that rule. Here you have to check whether this decision table rule is specifies whether that following condition is satisfied but by that rule or not. This means that it is going to satisfy the condition here. Uh, so uh, Here if you have follow this rule to be satisfied, else means that the condition must be met, no, and no means that the condition must not be met. So this symbol means that the condition plays no part, that is it is not playing yes or no, it is not playing any part, or it is immaterial to that rule. So here if you have observed the rule, a rule is a thing that specifies whether the condition should or should not be met for the rule to be satisfied. Here S means that the condition must be met to no. No means that the condition must be met, and I means that the condition playing no rule or it is immaterial to that rule. So the action stub means that the action or routine will take it or initiate if the rule is satisfied. If the action entry is yes, the action will take place. If no, the action will not be takes place. So if you have observed this figure 6.1, it can be translated as follows here. So this is the action 1 will take the it will take place of the conditions 1 and 2, and or met if the conditions 3 and 4 are not met, the rule, or if the conditions 1, 3, 4 met, this is the rule 2. So first one is the condition is the another word for the predicate. So the decision table uses the conditions and satisfied or met. Let us use the predicate and true or false. So now the above translations will become action 1 will be taken if the predicates 1 and 2 are true. If the predicates 3 and 4 are false, that is going to apply by the rule 1 here. And if the predicates 1, 3 and 4 are true, there we are going to use the rule 2. The action 2 will be taken if the predicates are all uh, if the predicates are all false, And here action 2 will be taken if the predicates are all false, that is applied by the rule 3. And here in the action 3 will takes place if the predicate 1 is false and the predicate 4 is true, that is applied by the rule 3. So here, in addition to stated the rules, we are also need to default rule that satisfies the default action that to be taken there when all the other rules are going to be failed. So the default rule for table 6.1 is shown in the figure 6.3. So this is the figure 6.3. This is the default rules of the table. So this is the condition and this is the default action. It is immaterial. We have already said that it is the rules if it is playing. Here the default at in all the rules, at the rule 5, rule 6, rule 7, rule 8, and in this all the rules, the basic default action is yes. So when it comes to the decision table process, the decision tables can be automatically translated into the code, and as such are higher order languages. If the rule is satisfied, the corresponding action is going to be takes place. Otherwise, the rule 2 is tried. The process continues until either a satisfied rule results in the action. So the decision tables have become useful tool in the programmer's kit in the business data processing. So decision tables as basis for the test case design. The specification is given as a decision table or can easily converted into one such that the order with which the predicates are evaluated, and these are not going to affect any interpretation of the rules or the resulting action, that is arbitrary permutation of the predicate order will not or should not affect which action takes place here. So the order in which the rules are evaluated and does not affect the resulting action, that is an arbitrary permutation of the rules will not or should not affect which the actions takes place. So once a rule is satisfied and an action selected, no other rule need to be examined. So if the several actions can result from the satisfying a rule, the order in which the actions are executed will not be does not matter. So this is the decision table. The decision table is can also be used to examine the program structure. So this shows the program segment that consists of the decision tree. So these decision trees in various combinations can lead to actions, that is first action, this is second action, and this one is up to 10 actions that we are going to perform here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, just like that we have performed so many actions here. So if you have observed this decision appears on the path, then we are going to put yes or no as appropriate. So if the decision does not appear on the path, put in an I. Rule 1 does not contain the decision C. Therefore, it entries as S, S, I, and S. So the corresponding table, this corresponding table is shown in this figure. So up to here we have finished this topic.